Girls, what's a creepy thing guys frequently do which we're unaware of? Blocking you by extending their arm and putting their hand in the wall. Quick tip, D-bag. If you have to physically block my escape, it's already over. Unsolicited shoulder massages. Violating personal space. If you take a step toward me, and I step back, that is not an invitation to slowly chase me around the room. That is an indication that you are close enough. Where's my hug? Once at a family party, this elderly man insisted on dancing with me almost the whole night. I didn't mind this so much because I was there only with my mum and didn't know that many people. He then continued to try to read my body language and tell me how he knows that there are things that I'm trying to hide and how I have a secret temperament. Please don't try to pretend to read a girl's behavior, especially if she's about a third of your age. This is just creepy. Not sure if many guys do this. Went out on a first date with a guy I met online. Introduced myself and he looked me over slowly, head to toe, while sloppily licking his lips. Never have I felt so desperately in need of a shower. Edit. To follow up on the post, we had chatted very cordially on the phone several times before we agreed to meet at a coffee shop for the face-to-face. After he gave me to sloppy move, I stayed for 15 minutes. My attempt at being polite. I hate telling PPL to FK off. Need to change that. Anyway, made my excuses and was gone. He continued to call, asking to come over or for me to go to his place just for cuddles. Made me think he was a rappy sob. Blocked his number and that was it. I'm a guy, sorry to disappoint. Whenever I'm strolling at night and end up walking behind a girl I feel terrible. I can tell I'm making them nervous so I either talk on the phone or slow the duck down. It doesn't help that I am 6'1" black male that weighs 200 pounds. Edit. The vast majority of you have restored my faith in humanity. I understand that we live in an unfortunate society where a woman might feel afraid walking alone. It's up to us to be decent people and try our best to make everyone feel safe. Also thank you for the gold. You look so innocent. This isn't a compliment. I'm 26. This is creepy. Making a point of talking about how respectful safe feminist you are. Do it once. And okay, maybe you're just shy or nervous. Do it twice or more, and it gets progressively creepier. Believe me, if you're really a quality guy, I'll be able to tell without being told. Claim to know when a woman is menstruating by smell alone. Edit. No, I have never been attacked by bears. I know it's not that common, but there was one guy I knew who had a habit of putting his arm over girls' shoulders that barely know him and without their consent. He thought it made look confident and cool. We thought he was a desperate creep. A lot of guys have followed me in public or slowed down to try and talk to me from their cars. In what world is this not creepy? I know most guys won't do this but so many have at this point. I just wonder if they know how creepy they're being. More relevance to this thread. Being too persistent. If a girl keeps brushing you off or giving it responses and you don't tone it down, walk away, you start to seem a bit creepy. Although some people are poor conversationists, so I guess it's hard to tell. For me, it's jumping right into super flirting. Like, an example conversation would be, me, so, you like Arma 3? Soviet Womble has got some great vids on that. Him, I love Womble. So, when are you coming over for vids and cuddles? Dot. Come on man. At a club, pushing into our dance. I was out with my friend and we were dancing together, fully engaged with just each other and chatting as we danced. A guy pushed into the gap between us and tried dancing with just me. I stopped dancing and stepped away. My friend reached out and pulled me back to her and began dancing with me again, pulling me in closer to close the circle to make it clear we weren't looking for company. He did it again. My friend straight up pulled me away and we walked out of the room. Later that night, the guy saw us and came over and started screaming and shouting that we were itches and whores and rude for ignoring him. What the duck? From my wife. Being friendly to a guy and they automatically believe you want to duck them, so they ramp up the flirtiness and physical contact. Staring. I can see you even if I'm not looking at you. If I make eye contact with you, either smile and introduce yourself, or look away. Don't continue to stare thinking it's slick. It's just weird. The bigger the age gap, the weirder it is. I had one guy stare for so long that he actually drooled. It's not flattering, I promise. Edit. Trust me, when you're in a club and a guy follows your every move, silently staring for ages, you can tell the difference between them accidentally spacing out and leering at you like a piece of meat. Girl here. Pretend to be a girl on Reddit. It's really off-putting when guys come on too strongly. Like, I get it, you want sex. So do I. But I also want to be able to carry a decent conversation with the person I sleep with that doesn't involve an unsolicited D-pic. I think a general rule with D-pics is that if we don't ask for one, don't send it. And a lot of guys just send it as an opening. It's pretty gross when it's not asked for. Edging closer to you during conversation until they're practically on you. No, it's not going to get you laid, and no, you're not smooth. As a black female, it is absolutely infuriating when guys hit on you by stating that they've never been with a black girl before, and start with all that chocolate caramel it. That doesn't make me feel special. It makes me feel like a fetish you want to cross off your list. Just be normal, please. Browses to make sure I'm not guilty of the top comments. Catcalling. In all shapes and forms. My least favorite is the snake hissing. What are you trying to accomplish here, except to intentionally make a female feel uncomfortable? Joking about dragging my drinks, slipping alcohol into my non-alcoholic beverages, if I'm not drinking that night, and wondering if I'd notice how I would act while drunk or drugged up. Yes, this really happened. Multiple times. Different guys. If only I was younger, said by elderly males. You should smile more. You're so pretty when you smile. Got a random Facebook message from a guy that went to my old college. I don't know who he is though, saying something along those lines. I really don't like it when guys hit on me at work. To be more specific, I'm in customer service and I have to be nice and I can't really leave the situation as I'm at work. Nothing makes me feel more trapped than a dude that spends an hour asking me about some product in a thinly veiled attempt at talking to me. I'm a male, but I run a bar with a lot of female bartenders. One of the creepiest things I see consistently that drives me insane are the guys who will try and stay after we're closed to flirt with the bartender as she's closing. They end up just kind of trying to follow the bartender around while she's just trying to ignore them and get her job done. No bartender likes this. Stop doing it. I can totally guess women's bra sizes. You're a 34C, right? Dude. Stop. No, you can't. Please leave me alone. Seducing a woman by catcalling them from a car isn't creepy and is very effective, right? Asking for a friend. Asking me to smile. Stop. I'll smile if I ducking feel like smiling. Goddammit. Edit. Apparently not a thing that women are exclusively subjected to. So people of the world, stop asking strangers to smile. It's weird and annoying. From wife. Asking about tattoos. How many? Locations? Not super frequent, but saying it like don't worry, I didn't put anything in it, when they bring you a drink, or wow, you're really brave for walking home alone, when you run into them on the street at like 10 PM on a weekday, walking on a well-lit main road, like I really wasn't thinking about the possibility of you sexually assaulting me before, but I sure as duck am now, thanks. Stare, like straight up gawking. You know women have peripheral vision too, yeah? Just because I'm not looking right at you don't mean you're being slick. Getting mad at women for, why didn't she just say no, why did she lead me on? In the same breath as they harass women for not giving guys a chance, and generally just pursuing women who aren't interested or keep brushing you off. You know that tip about reading back a phone number incorrectly to see if it's real or they gave you a fake number? Yeah. If a woman gives you a fake number, accept it and walk away. If she did that, it's because she does not feel safe just saying no, and she has reason to expect if she bluntly said no, I'm not interested to you directly, you would get violent with her. Women try to be as polite and gentle in their rejections as possible because of their genuine fear of violent retaliation. If they don't, then they get accused of leading men on, or they are being genuine friends to guys they genuinely like. But those guys cannot process a male and female friendship, so they assume it's about sex and romance. When someone is sitting next to you and you are minding your own business and they say something like you don't talk much, do you? It's because I don't want to talk to strangers. Coming on way too strong. There's a lot of guys out there that go head first, if you know what I mean. Smile beautiful, I'm at the grocery store, sorry I don't have a fake plastered on smile at all times. WTF, you're not saving me from a bad mood. I'll smile when I ducking want to. Creepy f. Telling me how to act is obviously the best way to pick up women. Okay, scrolled down pretty far, and I have to say, as a man, I find it pretty shocking that anyone would not know everything I've read here is creepy as hell. Come on men, what the actual? Where's my smile, cheer up, love, it may never happen, or any other variation thereof. Women are not obligated to smile and act polite and cheerful for you all the time. Duck off. Full stop. Insist that they just want to be friends after hitting on you and getting rejected. If your idea of being friends only means going out for a meal alone and talking to me only when no one else is around, no, you don't ducking want to be friends. I'm not stupid. Had that exact situation play out with a coworker recently. Dude would not leave me alone for months. Calling me a female instead of woman or my name. Some guys are too damn old to be hitting on 18-25-year-old girls. When I was 17, a 28-year-old 5 feet 3 inches scrawny white guy with a 76ers hat and a cigarette in his ear actually tried to have a threesome with me and my friend, who was 16. He kept bragging about how girls lined up to date him and we were lucky he was even interested in us. The worst part about it is this guy still messages me and my younger sister on Facebook, still trying to have threesomes. My sister just turned 16 a month and a half ago. Like dude, not only is that creepy, it's sick. As a 26-year-old woman who looks 16, I think it's creepy when an older stranger hits on me while I'm not wearing makeup. You might be a sweet guy or you might be a confused pedophile. Hard to say. Also, please don't offer me candy. Dear God, do not ask, are you in school? What do you mean? Middle school, elementary school? Don't put me in a van. I'm a grown-ass woman. Personal space. Any man I've worked with over the age of 40 thinks that the max distance we should have during a conversation is much less than half a foot. Nope, nope, nope. You need to be about an arm's length away. Just barely in the handshake zone. You may be a great dude, but not everyone is. And if you're gonna try and hug or kiss or otherwise overstep professional boundaries, I need enough space to shut you down. Cause once you've done something inappropriate, it forces my hand. I can A. Call HR or B. Get used to increasingly inappropriate physical contact. Because even when it's non-sexual it still always escalates. Force me to kiss you on the cheek, or more, like. Some dudes in the total stranger category already pulled that one on me, and wouldn't stop pestering me as long as I hadn't done it. The fact that, one time, the guy wouldn't let me go and tried to force me into his car didn't help at all. It's not just for men, but for people in general. It's better to avoid touching people you don't know, and no is a perfectly valid answer to any request. Edit. Tired of repeating it everywhere. I'm French. There's a difference between la bise, which is a customary way to say hello to people you're meeting, friends, colleagues, family, and a forced kiss. The I'm literally holding you and won't let go as long as you don't give me what I want. Duck that type of behavior. Not sure if this is common, but I take the same train to and from work every day. After a night out I was heading home and a man stopped me saying, "Oh, you're working late? You don't normally get on this train. I thought I missed you." Still going to place I live. It could have been harmless, but it was past 10 PM and it felt creepy as duck. I switched carriages. It felt weird, like he was analyzing my journey like a stalker. Guy, do you have a boyfriend? Me, yes. Guy, do you actually love him? Are you sure he's not cheating on you? Well, do you want a friend? Unless you want me to bring my boyfriend along. There is no way I'm just going to be friends with you. Especially when you approach me trying to hit on me. And yes, I do actually love him. Hey, smile. A la good looking loser. If it does make a girl giggle or smile, it's more likely out of being uncomfortable than anything. I've been talking and laughing with a group of my friends and still being told to smile by a guy I don't know who happens to be there. So it's not an issue of me actually scowling or being sulky in case someone suggests that. If you want me to smile at you, just be nice and pleasant. I've had men glare at me from afar and then tell me I look miserable. I've had guys looking genuinely concerned if I'm okay. I say I'm fine thanks and they bristle as if I told them to duck off. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's demeaning or sexist, but it really irritates me and I feel self-conscious about my face for the rest of the day. Sometimes if a girl looks quite intense or serious while listening to a guy talk, I often do, it's because they are deeply in the conversation, gazing at your face or just happen to look like that. On the other hand, I guess the opposite of that is just as it. At my parents' wedding, my dad's brother said to my mom, "You'd look better without that big stupid grin on your face." On her ducking wedding day. Really? Can't win either way. Men who approach 2 or more women with the pickup line, "Why are you sitting here all by yourselves? Yeah, you really must come save us from this man-less reality we are living in." A shat. Stare at my tits instead of my eyes when speaking to me. Go in for a greeting kiss on the mouth instead of cheek when you are not in a relationship. Thank God not many men do this, but some do, and even an uncle of mine always tries to lay one on straight on the lips. Blue worked out. Have learned to swerve and awkwardly completely avoid all contact when he tries it. Send unsolicited D-pics. Tell you to smile in an elevator or something. Duck off complete stranger. Call us fat, ugly, whore, slut, etc. Or send death threats when we say we aren't interested in you. Trying to start a conversation with a D-pic. Or by saying all the sexual stuff you'd do to me. It's creepy and 100% ineffective. I've had weird guys hit on me in an aggressive way and treat me like a fetish as a Japanese girl. There is a stereotype that Japanese women are submissive and you can treat us like garbage, and look, I'm not the one. I'll body slam you into the cement. Fart face. Trying to convince us how not a rapist you are. Like on a first date, lol, you have nothing to be scared of. I'm not a rapist. I'm not gonna hurt you. I swear. Don't be afraid of me. etc. Like, dude, who are you trying to convince? Yourself. Looming. That thing where person A is sitting and person B chooses to stay standing. Or when person A is relaxed and person B stands military straight and way too close. You're physically bigger. It's just factual. But then you add looming into it and it gets intimidating. Edit. If you're clicking reply just to argue about good versus bad posture, you've missed the point. The posture thing was one example of a context-sensitive behavior. Looming over people is weird and uncomfortable no matter how much you like standing over people. And ultimately that's the problem. I've noticed that men tend to use their bigger size to loom over people or direct them around. And there's plenty of men below arguing that it looks better or is more attractive or is their preference, so I'm not imagining it. You all know you're using your size to your benefit, and just don't want to stop doing it. It's not attractive. Not reading obvious body language. If we have just met and you're rattling on for 5 hours and I've said about 3 uninterested words, it means that I don't want to talk to you or I feel uncomfortable. Same goes for if I am trying to walk away from a guy on the street who gives me the creeps. Please don't try to follow a girl when she's obviously quickening her pace. Stop hitting on women on public transit. I promise if the headphones are on or the phone is up we don't want to talk. Bonus arsehole points to the one guy last month who stared me down most of the bus ride. Made an effort to point out I had headphones on. Made fun of my cane. And then yelled at me for being rich because I told him to cut the weird sexual jokes. Got off a few stops too soon on that one despite being disabled. Asking a woman out after a coincidental meeting where you have nothing in common. Example, a political canvasser came to my friend's house with a petition. She signed it, put her email, etc. They chit-chatted while he explained his cause. The next day she gets an email from the dude, which he took from the petition sheet, asking her out for coffee, wanting to know about the ziz kind of work she did, something she did not mention in their conversation. He had clearly looked her up with her email. Seems innocent but is so scary. Men don't do this PLS. Sort by controversial if you want to find what's really creepy. As someone with Asperger's, I'm bookmarking this thread. When a guy goes out of his way to mention why he wouldn't date Stacy because she's just a slut, or I can tell you're a nice girl, Jesus ducking Christ. The dudes looking for innocent virgins to deflower are creepy as hell. I despise how it's rare you meet a guy who will just accept all that you want is friendship. They always assume that I'm into them or that they can try it on with me, which then results in the friendship becoming awkward and strained, and eventually I just phase them out unless I have to directly tell them that no, I was just being friendly and no, I'm not interested. Swear to God they infuriate me, especially when they're much older work friends or married men who you thought were decent people, but oh no, they will throw everything away just for casual encounter. Vile. When I'm on a dating site and they say hey sexy beautiful gorgeous, whatever happened to a hey Sam? Things every guy should know is creepy. This may not be frequent for everyone, but if I'm not showing you any interest, then maybe you should leave me alone. This means don't follow me around campus or wherever, don't touch me or my it, and stop asking if I want to go places with you. Learn to read body language. Whenever someone refers to women as females, pretty rare I roll, but I see it a lot on Reddit and it frankly creeps me out. As soon as I see someone use it, I assume that they probably have little to no contact with women who aren't related to them or work at places where they shop or dine. Seriously, we're people, not another species. There are a few things that stop short of harassment but that give off creepy vibes nonetheless and make a normal interaction unpleasant. Excessive touching, even if it's in non-sexual areas, like on the arm or back. Too much of it creates forced familiarity. Plus it's hard to object because it's just friendly and not technically a grope. Or letting your hand linger for too long and turning a simple pat creepy, especially on an area of my back that happens to not be covered by my top. Ugh. Or constant leaning. Or unnecessary, unreciprocated, constant hugging that borders on a bit too intimate and makes no sense in context. The list goes on. Being intentionally oblivious to cues, not noticing when I'm clearly jerking away from your touch, or if you're not a friend but just a random stranger in public. Trying to keep the conversation going by saying things like don't be so tense, or I've had it with your one-word answers. Lol. Obviously these are signs that I'm not interested and am looking for a way out of the conversation. And obviously you can see them because you're commenting on them. So you're just willfully misunderstanding them here. In my experience this is a way to manipulate me into apologizing for being uncomfortable. The thing is that I wouldn't accuse any of these guys of actual harassment. There were no sexual comments, no stalking, etc. It was the subtle pushiness and disregard for boundaries that made me want to avoid them. I have met 0 women, myself included, who like being compared favorably or unfavorably to other girls you've dated. The former makes it seem like you want us to be her, and the latter makes you seem like you can't get over her. Commenting on a girl's appearance, hitting on her in a setting where she isn't expecting it and doesn't want it and isn't putting out any cues that she is open to that kind of flirtatious attention like at work or wherever, and then acting put off when her response is a lukewarm and awkward thank you.